Hello everyone, welcome back to our third episode of Videocast. Good day to you. I hope you are in good condition. It has been raining a lot lately, but I hope you are in good fit condition for today and for the rest of the days this week, next week, till the end of the world. And on this episode of Videocast, I'm going to review my explanation about presentation last week. You have done your first presentation, and just like what I have predicted, there are many things that you have to improve, not just in terms of the way you deliver your presentation, but also in the way you create your slideshow. So first of all, we're going to start with making presentation attractive, and I'm going to give expert top tips which I have gathered collected from many sources from internet. And first of all, we will start with this awesome quotation. It's not what you present, but how you present. Any topic of presentation can be interesting as long as you know how to present it well. Interesting topic can be boring if you don't put it in the right package, but boring topic can be interesting and stimulating if you know how to put it, how to conduct it in a well-mannered fashion. So it's not just the topic, but also the way, the how you present plays a big part in the success of your presentation. Now, we often wonder how are we going to do our presentation? Do we have to use technology or can we use simple tool? Like in this video, we see a man doing presentation with just a flip chart. So he just used a marker and big paper. He writes his presentation on big paper almost spontaneously, and he can make his presentation interesting. The only technology thing he has is only microphone in his hand. Others are just manual technology, markers, flip chart, and the way he talks. So is it is it the best way to do presentation? These days, people also do presentation with PowerPoint or with any other presentation software. They use PowerPoint because, well, as we know that Microsoft Office is very common. It is the most common office software in the world. Right now in 2014, almost millions of people know PowerPoint and they know how to use it. So this is the standard presentations tool that people use these days, PowerPoint. But when we use PowerPoint to deliver our presentation, to share our ideas, proposal, we have many questions about it. How to make my PowerPoint interesting? Should I use photo? If I use photo, should I combine it with words? Should I combine words with video? Or is it enough if I just do presentation with a video? Like in this video, we see a man doing presentation only with a piece of video clip. No words, no slideshow, just video. And he is able to talk about what he sees in the video to an audience and seems that they like it, they enjoy it. So how is it possible? And when you design your slideshow, we also have questions such as how should I create my slideshow? Should the picture bigger than the words or should the words bigger than the picture? If the words should be big, how many words can I put in one slide? Should I just put one sentence or many sentences? And is the picture should be colorful or monochrome? These are the questions that we ask ourselves whenever we have a job to do presentation. We tremble, we are afraid because the first thing that we fear is whether my presentation is going to be successful or not. So every time, many times that the problem with presentation is not just the way you deliver it, but also the way you create your slideshow. So the rules that I'm going to apply here will be preceded with this Nice quotation. Rules are obedience to the fools, but guidance to the wise. The point here, the rules that I'm going to share with you is not 100%. Well, you don't have to obey it 100% because take this rule as guidance. Take it as guidance. It doesn't mean that you cannot modify the rule, that you have to follow the rules strictly as it is without any adaptation. No, you are free to adapt, but look at the rules as your guidance. So the rule that I'm going to talk about is the 10-20-30 rule by Guy Kawasaki. This is a famous name in the world of technology. He is not a software engineer, he is not hardware engineer, but he is famous because he is an investor. He invests his money in many technology projects, technology companies, and that's how he makes his fortune. He is American Japanese. He was born in Hawaii. 10 stands for 10 slides. Believe it or not, actually, we only need 10 slides for our presentation. In general, yeah, in general, whatever your topic is, you only need 10 slides. Many times people use more than 10 slides. And I always ask questions. Do I need to use 20, 25, 40 slides? Come on. Do you really need that many slides? 10 slides are enough because you can divide 10 slides into three parts. The first part is intro, second part is body, and the last closing. You can give 2 slides for introduction, 7 slides for body, and 1 is for closing. That's enough. Especially when it comes to business presentation, efficiency, time efficiency is very paramount. It is very important. In business world, people don't like to waste time for something that is easy for them to understand. So if your presentation is just about selling a product or trying to get money from investor for your company, make your slide as simple as possible. That means you have to use few slides. So 2 slides for introduction, 7 slides for body, 1 slide for closing. That's it. That's enough. How about if I do academic slides? Well, maybe you will need more than 10 slides because academic slides, well, academic presentation is very much different from business presentation. But still, you got to use 10 slides. But what if I cannot put my words into it? I like to put sentences in my slide. Well, that's the point. With 10 slides, you are forced. You are forced to put few sentences. Instead of writing sentences, you just write a sentence. But one sentence that is to the point. With 10 slides, you are pushed to make your slides as simple as possible without redundancy. So that's it. 10 slides. Then 20 minutes. Business presentation should be time efficient. So if your presentation takes more than 20 minutes, I don't think the audience will like it. 20 minutes is the maximum time for your presentation. You don't have to put everything that you know in your proposal in your slideshow. In your slideshow, you just put the important points. Details, that's for Q&A. If your audience, if your listeners are not satisfied and they want to ask question, do that after presentation. That will make your presentation, your slideshow efficient. It will be easy for you to create the slideshow and it will be even easier for you to deliver your presentation. 20 minutes is too short. Well, so what? No one is going to complain about short presentation. Many times people complain about long presentation, especially if the presentation is boring. But if your presentation is short, people will not complain. Trust me. And 30 stands for 30-point font. That's the minimum font that you can put in your slide. Whatever font you use, The minimum font size is 30. Take a look at this slide. This is a good example of a bad slide. Yeah. I'm not talking bad in terms of color or design. I'm talking bad about its readability. From where you are sitting, from where you are sitting, I know that you can read the titles. But can you read the body text? Can you read the bullet points? I don't think so. The problem is what we have in the body and bullet points are sentences is in small font size. That's the problem. That's why it's difficult for us to read it. We can only read the titles, but we cannot read the explanation. And this is typical Indonesian style of presentation. I'm sorry, I don't mean to criticize you, but this is the reality. In Indonesia, many presenters do this. They put sentences in the slide. What are you going to do? Are you going to tell people to read the slides? Do we come to presentation to read? If it is for reading, give me the handout. I will read it. So we don't come to presentation to read. We come to presentation to watch and listen. That's the purpose, not to read. But many presenters in Indonesia do this because simple. They are not ready. They are not prepared. So that's why they put sentences in their slide. They put paragraphs so they can read the slide because they are not ready. A presenter who is ready will not do this. A presenter who is ready will put short sentences which are efficient. The details, well, you are the presenter. You speak the details. You speak, you speak, you speak, you talk. The details must come from your mouth, not in your slides. In fact, if you do this, this is a bad way of designing your slides. If you this kind of slide, some people in your audience will say, "Hey, I can read faster than you." So that's humiliating. Instead of this one is good. This one is better. So you have one short sentence, but to the point. It is to the point. Aerobic exercise boosts brain function. That's it. One sentence describe everything. And you as the presenter, you give the details. You elaborate. What do you mean with aerobic exercise boosts brain function? And the nicest thing about this slide is the word is accompanied with picture of someone jogging on a beach shore. So this is great. The picture and the words work together. Your audience will be able to understand it because the slide is simple enough. And while they're listening to you, they will connect the words that you say with the picture and the sentence you put in your slide. So you don't have to worry about having audience who don't understand your explanation. This is another example of bad slides. The problem with this slide is too many information. You have sentences, you have charts, and you have picture. Too many information. 13% of women in Japan smoke. 53% of men in Japan smoke. And under it, you have pie chart. Now you already have sentence. Why do you still give pie chart? So this is what I call as redundancy. Redundancy because you you put too many things in one slide while your message is actually very simple. You want to talk about the percentage of female and male in Japan who are smoking. So don't give chart, don't give photo. In fact, when we are talking about that, we don't need picture of the picture on the left. And then about smoking, the picture on the right is already good. Cigarette in an ashtray. Problem, picture is too small. So you should make it big. Now this one is better design. Not only it is better design, the words are also bigger. So minimum font size must be 30 points. So let's take a look again. So that's the comparison. This is why I say 30-point font is the minimum font size. You see the comparison. From where you are sitting, you probably can read 30-point font. You still can read 20 points font. It is still easy to read 15 points font. But 10-point font, 8-point font, do you really think your audience can read that? If people are sitting, standing 1 meter, 3 meters away from the screen, do you think people can still read these sentences? Why don't you try it? Try it now. Stand 1 meter from your computer screen. Stand 2 meters from your computer screen. Can you read 30-point font? And can you read 15-point font? The minimum font size in your slide must be 30 points. Don't go smaller than that. Never. If you want to go bigger, great. You can make it 40 points, 50 points, 60, or even 100 points. So the smallest font you can use in your slide is 30 points. The reason is because slideshow is visual. Slideshow is visual. People don't read slides. People read books, people read newspaper, people read papers, but people don't read slides. Even if you put word sentences in slides, you have to make the words, the sentence big so people can read, because in slideshow your audience will be at least sitting 1 meter away from the screen. So make it easy for them if you want to read, if you want them to read. But how about if there is a question? How about if there is question? But if I use 30-point font as the minimum size, that means I cannot put many sentences. That's it. That's my reason. That's my argument. Because the smallest font size is 30 points, then you have to reduce sentences into one sentence. And it is your job as presenter to find one sentence that will give the message. So your job as presenter. Remember, your audience don't have time to read your slide, especially if you are the presenter. As the presenter, you are in control of the slideshow. So if you put too many sentences, and by the time you switch slide, your audience haven't finished reading, then they will be disappointed. But that is your fault. That is your mistake. Why do you put so many sentences? So make the sentence in your slide simple but to the point. And make sure that the sentence really catch your message. So that's it. 10-20-30 rule by Guy Kawasaki. This week, on Saturday, I want to see you doing your presentation this way. With exception, of course, with duration. For your presentation, you can only use 5 to 7 minutes maximum for your presentation time. Thank you for watching. See you next time in our next videocast slideshow.